Hello students, let's start our poem 2, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. It is written by Stephen Spender. Here, the poet describes the social inequalities which are prevailing in the society. In the poem, he describes the condition of the students of an elementary school which is situated in a slum area. The poet wants to draw the attention of everyone towards these kids so that their life can be improved and they may get trained to become good citizens rather than criminals. Let's go through the line to line explanation. Our first stanza. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces like rootless weeds. Their hair was torn round the paler. The tall girl with her weighed down head, the paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted unlucky hire of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease. His lesson from his desk, at the back of dim class, one unnoted sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. So, if we see difficult words in this poem, the very first word which I found new is gusty waves. It means breezy winds. Then paler, which means dull face. Then stunted, which means not fully grown due to malnutrition. Then gnarled. Gnarled means knotted, rough. Then I think all the words are now clear. So let's begin the explanation. The poet describes the children who study in an elementary school which is set up in a slum area. The poet says that the faces of children are dull or without any energy. They are not full of energy like other kids of their age. These children are compared to unwanted weeds. Here, the writer wants to say that these children seems to be unwanted like unwanted weeds which grow on their own in the fields. Their hair is not neatly done. It falls on their pale faces as if they have been torn apart. The children are untidy. They haven't combed their hair. Then he describes a tall girl who seems to be burdened with poverty. Her head is bent, maybe because of tiredness or shame. There is another boy who is so weak and thin that he has been compared to a sheet of paper. The boy's eyes reflect greed and he wants to achieve everything. Then he describes another student who is physically disabled. The poet says that this boy is unlucky because he has inherited a disease from his father due to which he has a deformed body. Instead of getting any facility from his father, he has received a disease in heritage. The disabled boy is sitting on his bench and reciting his lesson. At the back of class, in dim dark area, was a small boy who was not visible to the poet, as he was sitting in darkness. The poet could see his eyes, which were bright and full of dreams. He was not paying attention in the class. It seemed as if he was rather interested in playing with squirrels in tree houses. Let's discuss the literary device. Simile is the word, since children are compared with rootless weeds. See the line like rootless weeds. Here. Like rootless weeds. This is simile. Then metaphor. Where is metaphor? Again, a comparison is there. A paper seeming boy. This shows how thin the boy is. So this is metaphor. Okay, and there is a repetition also, since far, far, these two words, this one word is repeated 2 times. So that is why this is repetition. So let's proceed to the next stanza. I just hope you have understood this well. So our second stanza says, on sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome riding all cities, belled, flowery, Tyrosel Valley, open-handed map, awarding the world its world. And yet, for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, where all the futures painted with a fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of words. So here, let's discuss the difficult words or new words. So first word which I found new is sour or sour. It means unpleasant. It means unpleasant. Here it refers to the color of sour cream. Generally cream is of white color, but when it becomes sour, it becomes off-white or creamish. Okay. Then next word is donations. Donations means things given or received in charity. Then it's a name, Tyrosel Valley. It's a beautiful ice-free valley in Austria. Okay. And then, which is the word which is new? Lead sky or lead sky. Lead over here is dark, dull future. Okay, here it shows dark and dull future. Then capes. What are the capes? A large piece of land that sticks out into the sea from the coast. That is capes. I just hope words are clear. Word meaning is clear. Let's discuss the meaning of the whole stanza. The poet describes the wall of the school. They are cream in color, like the color of sour cream. This means that the walls are not clean. They have not been painted recently. The walls are covered with different charts and images that must have been donated by different people. There is a picture of Shakespeare on the wall. His head, which is bald, looks like rising sun at the horizon. At the time of daybreak, the sun is rising at the horizon and a semicircular like a dome shape. It seems to be behind all cities. There is a picture of famous Tyrosel Valley, which has beautiful flowers. There is the image of map, which helps all in its own way. But for these children, the maps of world is irrelevant because the slum where they live is different from what is shown in the map. Their world is only what they see out of their windows of the classroom, the slum. The future is full of darkness. The future is compared to a narrow street, which means that there is no wide scope available for their future growth. These children are far, far away from the radiant light of knowledge and education. Here, literary devices which are used, sour cream walls. It's a metaphor. Okay? Sour cream walls. It's a metaphor used for the dull colored walls of the classroom. Okay? Narrow streets sealed with lead sky. This is also metaphor. Because here the poet has said the future of these kids are very limited. Okay, the future is very limited. They cannot explore it well. Then again, far, far is the word which is used. So it is repetition. I just hope our second stanza is also very clear to you. Let's proceed further. Surely Shakespeare is wicked. The map, a bad example. With ships and sun and love tempting them to steal. for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes. From fog to endless night. On the slag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum. So blot their maps with slum as big as doom. So here, let's discuss the word meanings. Wicked means evil. Okay. Then tempted or tempting. It means persuade, forces, encourages them to steal. Okay. Then slyly means trickily, with trick. Then crammed. Crammed means confined, limited. Then slag. Slag means weak. Mended, it means repaired. Blot means to mark with a spot. Doom, disaster. So these are the difficult words. I just hope you have understood the meaning of all the difficult or new words which have been used in this stanza. Let's go through the explanation. The poet further says that these children living in the slum area have faced so many hardships that they feel every other person to be their enemy. For them, Shakespeare is an evil man. They don't find the map to be a good thing. They were never liked or loved by anyone. Therefore, they hate almost everyone. Their desire of being loved by others forces them to steal. They live in a small homes and they have started adjusting to it. Their life is going towards an endless night. This means that their future is full of darkness. These children are so thin that one can easily see through their bones. Their skin is like a thin layer of cloth, and bones beneath are visible through the skin. These kids suffer from malnutrition. They wear spectacles which are made of steel. They are cheap and very comfortable. Even the lenses of the spectacles are repaired. The spectacles look like stone which have been repaired with pieces of glass sticking out of them. Here the poet tries to explain that these kids have a face to face all the hardships in their lives. As these slums are get bigger day by day, they will destroy the future of these children, and it is very difficult for such kids to escape from them. Let's discuss the literary devices used in the stanza. Crammed holes. Crammed holes means their homes are very small like holes. These crammed holes are the houses, the homes of these little children. Simile, they're repaired like bottle bits of stone. Like is used. This is simile. Here, what the poet is saying, they're repaired spectacles. That's all. Let's proceed further. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Break, oh break, till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, and white and green leaves open. History there, whose book is in the sun. So here, let's discuss the difficult words. The first word which over here is used freshly is catacombs. Means tomb. Tomb. Okay? And then next word is azure. Deep blue. Deep blue. So the explanation to this stanza is, here in this stanza, the poet says that government should take notice of the problems being faced by these kids. He urges them to change the life of these kids and make the world map a reality for them. There is a need to break the restrictions which are put on them due to poverty and lack of resources. He wants the governor and public to help these kids in achieving their dreams, as this will take them away from fog to azure sky. The poet here wants to say that in this way, the kids can be taken away from the darkness of their present to a brighter future. He wants these kids to experience the sands and the beauty of nature, as this will lead them to desire gaining knowledge. They will then go through the white and green leaves. Here, white leaves depicts books and green leaves depicts nature. This will then result in their progress, and they will be able to paint a bright future for themselves. So let's discuss the literary devices used in the paragraph or stanza. The white green leaves open. Here. Okay? Books and nature. So it is metaphor. Whites are the books, green is the nature. So he has talked about white and green form of books and nature. Okay? So this is all for the explanation of the poem. I just hope you have understood it well. Thank you all of you.